Hello, my name is CT, and welcome to the second Alliance War of the season. Omni vs LEVB, or the Top Tier Torch Timeout. My team for this war is 5-star rank 5 Venom, 6-star rank 2 Torch, and 6-star rank 3 Warlock. For Section 1, I'll be going straight up path 5, towards Darkhawk. I didn't bring a specific counter to Darkhawk, so I'll be using Venom to take Darkhawk down. This Darkhawk fight is going to be relatively easy, as Darkhawk does not gain any benefit from their selected global, Protect. Darkhawk is only a medium champion, and while the knockdown node is going to be annoying, I can slow play it and play around it. The two biggest things I have to worry about in this fight are the block damage from a Special 1, and his regen from switching modes. This means it's going to be a very bad idea to hit him up to his Special 2, and I have to block his Special 1 as it's pretty much undexable. My playstyle is still pretty hardened on last season's nodes, which means I'm going to be blocking a lot of Special 1s fully, as I really have yet to get the muscle memory back to fully dex them. You're gonna see mid-fight I'm going to start dexing Special 1s, at least the last hit, but I do block a few Special 1s fully after that, and it's something that I need to work on for this season. I'm using Venom Special 3 after knocking down Darkhawk to see how much damage it does. If this knocks out a significant portion, I can use this to kill him later in the fight. But if you were paying close attention, I hit him up to 2 bars of power. He was close to 1.5 bars before I launched this, but after it, he's gonna be at 2 bars, so he's gonna get the regen when he exits his shield mode. This is a bad decision, and if I knock him down while he's in stealth mode, I'm gonna be in for a world of trouble. That regen isn't insignificant, especially at this tier. I'm going to do 2-hit combos after parrying to see if I can get some extra damage in while he's in stealth mode. This will also allow me to gain a little bit more distance in this fight. The more I can push him back, the more space I'll have to work with later in the fight. Especially with Darkhawk's long, unstoppable heavy, this is going to be key in getting the most health out of this as I can. Now that he's out of stealth mode, I can resume playing this fight normally. I'm not going to risk another Special 3 until much later in the fight, and when he has a lot less power. I can't risk another regen out of him, especially with this much time left on the timer. This fight is going to be played pretty normally, just baiting out Special 1s as I wait for openings to come to me, rather than going for them in the first place. There's one of those dexes of the final beam of the Special 1. I'm gonna keep consistently doing them for at least this section of it, but you'll see me fail it, or not go for it, later in this fight. I shouldn't say fail. I succeeded either blocking it or dexing it every time I go for it, but sometimes blocking it is failing it. My goal at the moment is to push Darkhawk into Assassin's range, or below 18%. That way I can deal 1 or 2 more combos and end the fight with a Special 3. Should only be about 1 to 2 more combos until I can finish him off with a Special 3. And then it's smooth sailing on to the next fight. Look at that. With Darkhawk down, we'll be moving on to Longshot, who I'll be using Torch for. Because I don't need my pre-fight for any other fight in this war, I'll be chucking it on this fight to make it a little bit easier. I'll also be popping a combat regen boost to make my time in this war just a little simpler. If you've ever fought or watched Torch in high-level war, you know it's pretty much a battle to the block. Just gotta make sure he doesn't get too much power and it stays within my comfort level. Longshot will be melting relatively quickly, and this fight should be over in no time compared to that Darkhawk fight. Already he's below 50% health in less than 30 seconds. and I just keep on gaining those incinerates. And there we go. Nice and quick and easy torch kill. For Section 2, we're going to be starting with that fight that I brought Venom for, the Spider Ham. This node is kind of tricky if you don't know what you're doing. Our goal at the moment is to stay below 3 debuffs on our Venom. But Spider Ham can get a little bit crazy with the number of debuffs that he applies. Right now I have 1 Peter Porker Popper on me and a taunt. If he gets 1 more debuff, he's gonna go unblockable until they start falling off, but we're gonna play this slow and into him. So that way, no matter what happens, we'll be able to counter and stay alive. That fresh yellow bar on our Venom looks really nice. Let's see if we can keep it. Venom Special 2 is always good to see, especially when Spider-Ham can't evade because Venom has his Clintar buffs. Now he's below 18%, and wow! I forgot I finished that fight with full health. You'll love to see it. The next fight is a Havok, who we brought our Warlock for. Warlock is always a solid Havok counter, but this one has the same nodes as the last fight, which means we gotta avoid getting plasma debuffs from Havok on ourselves. Warlock's Heavy is a good way to get damage, but it applies a bleed on Havok. When you use it, it puts 1 plasma debuff on you. We don't want this for the rest of our fight, which means we gotta keep his power low, and we can't use heavies, which is one of Warlock's biggest sources of damage outside of special attacks. Gonna play it cool, hope to get some reparries going, just so that way we can just end this fight on a high note. Special 2 hits like no tomorrow, and with my combat regen boosts, I'm gonna stay topped off throughout the rest of this fight. You'll love to see it. 1 Special 2 and Havok is down. And now for the final fight of this war. On Mini-Boss Island, we'll be taking down Thing, a champion who, on that node, is quite difficult. We're using Torch, and this is the first time he's been placed on this node with the new Alliance War meta, the new Protect Global. I'm gonna pop an invulnerability boost for safety, but this fight is all about management. Managing Thing's rock stack, managing protections, and managing to bait and intercept to deal with them. I'm going to start the fight by baiting out a heavy attack so that Thing's protection is no longer active. An important thing to remember is that Thing's protection, the stunning reflection that is disabled while incinerates are on him. I've already landed an intercept this fight to remove protection, but now that I know that my mediums trigger protection, this fight isn't gonna go too well. I'm going to have to be incredibly good at intercepting, as well as managing all of Thing's mechanics to get this fight done with. I've hit Thing up to 15 rock stacks, which means the next special I bait will get rid of them. As you can see, that triggered 2 of his protections, but my intercept got rid of him. He's on the cusp of a bar of power, so I'm gonna play this safe and hit into him into 15 stacks. Right now he has protection on him, which is providing a 25% bonus plus an 85% bonus for his signature ability protection. I need to get 3 hits in here to bring him up to a 15 rock stack, but he has 3 protections from the global, which means I'm hitting like a 2-star. I managed to get an intercept to remove 50% of that damage reduction, but I'm still not hitting that hard. And I've mismanaged his rock stacks, which means I gotta launch a special 3 so that he gains power, and I can hit him into rock stacks a little bit more often. I'm trying to keep away from special 3s here because those do trigger his protection, and I don't want that for this fight. That special 3 launched, he's now at max possible Fury charges, and with that intercept, he now no longer has any of his protection. So this should be smooth sailing. The only issue is his rock stats are at 11, I hit him up to 15, and I bait the special. One more 25% protection means that my incinerates are now healing him instead of actually dealing any sort of noticeable damage. I need to keep those protections off of Thing, and I need them off bad. With that successful bait of the special one, I was able to intercept off of it, meaning I was able to remove 2 of the 3 protections. Considering I can only really reliably intercept with mediums like I did there, I'm going to be even more cautious about how I manage his power. This is a long fight already, and I'm beginning to get a little bit nervous. When Thing gets to below 18% health, I'm worried about Assassin kicking in and causing his rock stacks to be less reliable. And with the 60% attack increase, I'm not going to be able to manage his protections much at all. That unreliable situation is going to culminate in a pretty bad 2-minute showcase. With 14 rock stacks and him launching a special one out of an idle block state, I'm not in a good place. The only way out of this is to hit into his block so that he gains some power. It eats up a lot of time on the clock, but after this we should be good to go. Only issue is, that's in a normal fight. This fight, he had to 100% damage reduction, so we have to intercept a few times to get that off. Unfortunately, when we tried to go for the intercept, he used a special one, so we didn't have enough time. At this point, I'm staring at that clock kinda scared. I only have a minute to get 25% of his health off, and he's been at this 25% for a while. I kind of panic. Keep in mind, I still have the invulnerability boost, so I'm gonna get a lot more risky with my intercepts. Up until this point, I was playing very safely, but I go for an intercept here and go directly into a special attack. That's my charge, but good news is I do get an intercept off directly after. This is going to be a risky final management phase. I have no way of hitting him into a special one unless I hit into his rock stacks, and the block might take too long. This is going to be a timeout at this point. And that, my friends, is my first death of the season. By a technicality, because one Rocky boy was a little bit too protective. Worth a screenshot, in my opinion. After healing up Torch, I was sent back into the fight. I made a mistake here of not removing Assassin, a mastery that would have helped a lot in, making the fight go smoother. Well, I should have removed it at least. Right now, you'd thinking, oh, this man's melting very quickly. But those protections are gonna keep stacking. With his signature ability protection on, and those stacks mismanaged, I've just trapped myself in a situation with an unstoppable force with 100% damage reduction. Only issue is, I can't manage the stacks. I get an intercept, but I don't know how his stacks are gonna be gained from here. That's the issue with the Assassin Mastery. The first one might have been my mistake. I'm now trapped in a corner with a very solid Rocky boy. And he's at 1% health. But, unfortunately, he's 100% damage reduction, which means I can't kill him. I have to go for an intercept here to get him into the red, and fortunately I get it off, but it triggers his protection, and it triggers another batch of his own protection. My incinerates are healing him, and I get clipped on an intercept, which puts me in a very scary position. Let's see if I can pull this off. Alright, he's given me the perfect window. Let's melt this boy. Ah. And so I got revenge for my first death of the season. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this content, consider subscribing. Reason for the entire lo-fi aesthetic was for a lack of smartness on my part. I forgot to record the audio for these fights, so I had to shove that in. Well, it was pretty fun though, right? And high tier wars are stressful. Here's some outtakes, by the way. Enjoy. But with that I managed to get an intercept to remove 50% of that damage reduction, but I'm gonna land an